welcome to Unveiling Conversations with Dr. Sakonja. It is an amazing day. We are blessed to have Toiya Tillman to join us, an amazing producer, accomplished, a beautiful wife and family woman. We are so blessed to have you join us today. Welcome, Toiya.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited, so appreciative of you having me, and I'm so humbled. Thank you.
Yeah, I am so grateful to have you because we met with through a mutual friend, and I'm just so grateful. You never know how a divine connection may happen. Today we are here to talk about how your belief system has shaped your success. So can you tell me about how you discovered your giftings?
It's interesting, and you know what? I was thinking about this on the way here. I was like, wow, my journey in the business. So let's see. I moved to Atlanta to come to college. And while I was in college, I'd always had the desire to be in the entertainment business ever since I was little. And I had an opportunity to work at a record label. A young lady called me and said, hey, there's a label that is looking for a receptionist, and I'm not going to say what the label is. It was a pretty big label at that time. And she said, would you be interested? And I said, sure, absolutely. So when she told me where to show up, it was So Def Records. And it was at the time when Brad, Escape, Bow Wow, everybody was there at the label. So I was there when all of that was happening. But my passion was film and television. So I had another friend that was starting on a movie, and she said, they're hiring if you want. So I left the label at the height of the label to go and be a PA on a big movie. And there was a locations PA, which I didn't realize was like the worst job you could ever have. You take out trash, and it was a college movie, so we had lots and lots of bags of trash. But you know what? I did a really, really good job on that. And from there, I was able to move up. And several years later, here I am producing.
Yes, and we talked about you worked for BET and Urban Honors, and also what other networks? Let's see.
BET. I worked for BET. I've worked
TV One.
I've worked in a lot of different networks. I've also worked for Tyler Perry Studios.
Yes.
I've been blessed to work in this industry in Atlanta for the last over 10 years, and I'm on various different types of projects. So
Incredible.
I mean, I'm grateful to God for the opportunities that He bestows upon me.
That's so incredible. And how has God helped you, or your belief system helped you along the journey to your success?
It's interesting because being a woman in the industry, and then being a Black woman, working in a male-dominated industry, especially when I was on set, when I started moving up and as a producer, and I'd be the only woman, and sometimes the only Black woman, Black person, and having the men to have to answer to me, I would have to lean on God a lot because it was hard, and so I prayed a lot. And God, give me the strength, give me the know-withal to just make it through it. And He did that. And I really believe that my relationship with God, praying, asking for opportunities, my belief system in God has really, really helped me to be able to move forward in the industry.
It is so very important, and our relationship with God never stops. It is an ongoing journey. And we met because we have a mutual spiritual friend.
Yes.
And it's an ongoing journey, and you fight all kind of battles. But in being a mother and a wife, how do you balance those?
Okay, so that's the hard part. Because when you are working in the industry, especially like the entertainment industry and in TV or film, it's many, many hours. There are many times when my kids have things at school that I can't attend to because I'm on set for 10, 14 hours a day. But thank God I have a husband at home who is so super supportive. And my kids, they know what I do.
That's
I've been doing it
blessing.
since before they were born. So sometimes they don't always agree when mommy can't be there, but they understand. But just having that support system of my husband and my belief system in God, and both of us being grounded in that, has really, really helped us.
And so I know in the entertainment industry, have you had any gatekeepers that have tried to limit you?
Oh yes, a lot.
Yeah, and so that took a lot of prayer and a lot of faith to be able to overcome and navigate around that. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. There were days when I would just go home crying, God, why? Why is this person? And it's like I would literally go to set. I'm the type of person where I try to be positive. You know, I'm not the type of person when I'm working and I make the atmosphere negative. I try to be positive and bring people up. But when you're that way, there is always going to be someone that's going to try to pull you down.
Yes.
And so I believe that my prayers and my beliefs and my strength comes from God, and I just, you know, I'm always praying. I always pray over my jobs, and now I'm like, God, give me the jobs, and He's been opening up the doors for the types of jobs I want. Before I used to have to just do jobs just to make money, you know, in the industry, but now I'm able to choose the jobs that I want to work on, and I'm grateful to God for that.
Yeah, and that's so very important. And as I was doing a little research on you, I was reading some reviews with people who had worked with you, and they just said that you were very organized. You were just, you know, just very, very savvy. And so it's good to hear, to be well spoken of, right, in your career. And so I'm sure that helps you as well.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, because people want to work with good people, you know, and not only do like you said, I'm organized, but I also bring a positivity to all of my jobs. You know, people enjoy working with me, and that's what I always tell my kids. I always tell people that ask me, how do you move around? How do you get these jobs? I say, you work hard. You know, and just be a good person. Be a good person.
Yes, that's
you know,
important.
And people will enjoy working with you. So they'll say, oh, she's awesome. Oh, she's wonderful. That's what I want to leave. That's what I want people to say about me. And that's what has afforded me to be able to continue to work in the industry.
And so when you talk about what you want people to say about you, what kind of legacy do you want to leave?
I think the legacy that I want to leave is I want to do as good as she did. You know, I want people to say, she was amazing. I want to be that good.
Yes.
You know, and I try to teach that and instill that in my children. You know, show up and show out. You know, and be a good person. You know, and be humble. Always be humble in everything that you do. But be positive as well. And I think that will take you a long way.
Well, my first impression of you, I was like, she is so sweet.
Oh.
Just very kind. But I do know that you're very powerful, so that makes me a little nervous.
Oh, please.
But I do know that. It does make me a little nervous, but I'm so humbled to be in your presence. I'm grateful. I am grateful. I'm very, very grateful. I'm thankful for you. I am thankful for you. And I see your star, and you're shining bright, and you're definitely going places, more places than you've been. And I know more doors of opportunity are going to be open for you. But we're going to have a little fun. So we have a little card game. And so you're going to pull a card.
Okay.
You're going to give it to me. You're going to read it first.
Okay.
Then you're going to give it to me. If you don't like it, then we'll let you pull another one.
Okay.
So you're going to pull a card and give it to me, and then I'll read it.
Okay.
Okay. So
All right.
let's see. It says, tell me about a time you had to remain consistent in your career.
I had to remain consistent. God, I'm trying to think which one do I want to share. I would have to say, okay, so I'm going to say something recently. So I did a job a couple months ago. It was a game show. I'd never done a game show before. You know, I'm always up for a first. But this one was really challenging because it was long hours. And it was, okay, so here's a fun fact. This particular job wasn't a job that I would normally do. I took the job because I didn't have anything going on at the time, and I wanted to have the experience of working on the show. But the consistency was being able to deliver what they were asking. And sometimes it was a little bit unrealistic, but I was up for the challenge. I love a good challenge, and so I think that being able to overcome that is what helped me to be successful in that job. Did I answer your question?
That answered my question. Because so what's so important is for people to understand what it takes to become successful. You know, we have a lot of believers who just are not able to move into the world system. And so just learning basic principles of what it takes to get there is so very important. You know, we can pray.
Yes.
We can come to church every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and all of that. But until we learn to have the principles, and actually act on the principles and learn to be consistent in that, then until we can do that, we'll have problems. So
Absolutely.
it's so very important just to make sure that we're understanding how you got there, what it took, and what you are doing to maintain it.
Okay, so I'll give it to you. So if I'm supposed to be there at 8 o'clock, I'm there at 7:30.
Yes.
I'm in the parking lot before they get there.
Yes.
Ready.
Yes.
You know, when I get in the door, I'm ready to work. And I listen, you know, and I'm very attentive. So if someone says, oh, what happened to the, I'm like, oh, here you go. You know, and they're like, oh, okay. You know, I'm always trying to be a step ahead and always paying attention, always trying to do things 100%, you know, and that's another thing. You've got to deliver.
Yes.
If someone hires me for a job, I try to deliver 150%, you know, over and above to what their expectations are. And so once people know that they can rely on you and once they need you, then that's when you know that you'll be called back and called back. And I live by that motto. And I try to teach my children that, you know, if you're doing something, do it well. Don't just do it okay. Be the best at it, you know, and be humble and be positive. Have all those good traits, and people will see that in you, and that's how they keep coming back, and you keep coming back. They keep coming back and hiring you, and you'll get this job, and you get that job. Most of my jobs are from someone that worked with me before that referred me. And in fact, we just wrapped Urban One Honors a couple weeks ago, and it airs this Sunday. I'm so excited.
Yes,
but
congratulations.
and you were talking about working and in the industry, so that is what I call the epitome of Black girl magic. You know, from Michelle Rice, who's the
Yes.
president of TV One, from Susan, who's the and then Miss Marilyn, who's executive producer. It's just a lot of women who are positive, and I see these women, and they exceed the expectation, you know, so I have great role models, and I try to be that to young
Yes.
ladies that are coming up, you know, in the industry, and telling them how to be when you get to set, how to deliver, how to listen, how to be attentive, how to be on time. You know, it's not just to show up. You have to show up and you have to deliver. And then you do that, people see that, and then they'll bring you back, you'll get hired on more and more jobs, and before you know it, you might be running your own production company.
Wow.
You know, so it's, like you said, consistency is very important.
Yeah, and so in that, when you talk about that, I hear dependability as
Yes,
well,
yes,
right?
yes.
I hear that as well as, like you said, being reliable. And so just somebody that they can depend on,
Yes.
and they know that when you pick up the phone and call you, you are there.
Oh,
The
yeah.
right strategy is important. No matter if you're a business owner, a manager, or a marketer, the right strategy in your industry on your playing field is the difference between racing to the top or racing to the bottom. It's the difference between the joy of winning or the pain of losing. What's the right strategy for your company? Take our 4-day virtual workshop to discover it. Learn how to examine your current strategy and avoid the critical mistake that failing businesses make. During the 4-day challenge, you're virtually invited into my home office. I'll create an experience that will inspire creativity and collaboration. Join the Right Strategy Challenge today. View the early bird pricing schedule on our website. Discover it at therightstrategy.co.
I heard you say delivering what they are asking for and going above and beyond that. So that's so very important
is.
in business,
It
right?
is.
All around in business.
And you know what I noticed? The young generation, not to knock them now, but they want everything so easy. They don't want to work hard for it, you know, but you have to work hard. You know, you have to deliver. And I feel that's what I'm trying to teach my children and any of young people that ask me, you know, how did you get there and how can I work with you? You know, I'll hire any young person that wants to work with me, but you got to deliver.
Yes.
Because I'm not going to be hard on you, but I'm going to have an expectation of you, you know, and that's just it. You have to super exceed expectations, you know, when you're working with people if you want to make it in the industry.
Wow, Toya, that is incredible, and I thank you for sharing that. Well, we're going to move on to card number 2.
Okay.
Because we're going to make this fun. So,
Okay. Gotcha.
and you tell your story around. Well, we picked the same one. Hold on,
Okay.
I'll put it back in the.
All right.
Let's
no
do
worries.
another one.
Let's do another one. There you
Yes.
go. Okay.
Okay. Please share with me your feelings about wasting time.
Okay. I can give you an example. All right. So I recently hired, well, I'm not going to say recently. I was just going to say I hired someone for a position. I gave them an opportunity. And let's see, so we didn't have to start till 10, but I started at 8 because I believe in getting in there and getting busy, you know. And this person didn't call me till like 11:30. Oh, I overslept. That's unacceptable, you know, because time is money, especially in my industry. You know, you have to be on time. You have to be accountable for your actions. And I think that it's so important, and that's just what we don't, young people don't do enough of. Not all the young people, but I try to stress that to them. You know, just showing up, being on time. It's so important because you cannot waste people's money.
That's
you know, if you want to make it in this industry, or just not even just this industry, any job, any job. You know, if I've always been that way though. That's always been a part of me. If I have to be there at 10, I'm there at 9 or 8. I always try to be early, be on time. You know, and then and when I'm there, make it count. Make that time that I'm spending doing whatever it is, I try to make it count. I try to stress that to my kids.
I often say that, you know, when I encounter people in consulting and try to do business with them, I always run into people that I feel a lot of people of the younger generation that feel entitled, right? The microwave generation. I want everything now. I want everything instant. And it's not like that. It's still hard work, still pays off.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's so very important. And so we want to just commend you for being such a hard worker.
Thank you.
And showing that we can still do that as Black women with a family and a husband, that you can learn to balance it all.
Yes.
And so I definitely appreciate you for that. And so you are definitely an inspiration for many. And I definitely appreciate you for that. Because we need to hear that.
Yes.
We need to hear that. I mean, it's a lot of single women who just feel like, you know, oh gosh, everything is on me, you know. And then a lot of married women that just don't know how to balance it all and say, how can I do that?
Yes.
So just understanding how you can still do that is very important. So thank you for sharing that.
And I also wanted to add, although I know I'm married and I have a husband, I have support. So I just learned of Kathy Hughes' story. Kathy Hughes is the CEO of TV One. And I was really amazed because she was a single mom when she did it. Her son, Alfred Liggins, who's now actually the CEO of TV One, Kathy has passed the torch to him. But she had him at the studio at the radio station with her when she was coming up.
Wow.
You know, and he would spend a lot of time there. And now he picked up where his mom left off, and now he's running.
That's
you know,
incredible.
so it's like, you know, you don't have to necessarily be married and have that support. You can do it as long as you put your mind to it. No matter what, you can do it.
Yeah, staying focused, right?
Staying focused,
and
absolutely.
understanding your purpose
Absolutely.
and understanding your goals
And your gifts.
staying in your gifts,
Yep.
right? And just acting on those gifts.
Correct.
Is so very important. And having faith and being confident
Oh
is
my
so
gosh.
very important
Yes.
because I feel in just being around you a lot of confidence.
Well, let me tell you, that confidence came with age. I'm going to tell you, because I didn't have it when I was younger, you know, especially in the business. Like I said, being the only female sometimes on set, when I was the only Black woman and then the only female. And then, you know, I've had these men, some of them were much older than me, thinking, why do I have to listen to what she has to say, you know. But, you know, so it came with a lot of prayer, you know, a lot of tears,
Yes.
you know, a lot of prayer. But then I had to get confident so that people would believe me, you know, and respect me.
Yes.
So that came with experience
Yes.
and prayers and age.
Yeah, so you built yourself.
Yes.
Yes, you
Yeah,
became
absolutely.
enough.
I became, absolutely.
Became enough.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let's pull one more question.
Okay. Hopefully it's something.
Okay, let's see.
Okay.
Oh yeah, this is the one. Tell me about a time that you had to take a risk and you were afraid to do so.
Ooh, I would probably say that risk was when I left the record label.
Oh,
That was
wow.
early in my career. I look at where the label went after I left, and I was like, wow, I could have really grown with them and continued with them, but I took a risk. I took a risk working at a record label that was big at that time. I mean, you know, Jermaine had all the artists, they were all everybody was doing well, you know, and I said, I want to go and get experience in TV and film. So I took a job as a locations PA, you know, so I felt like if I had not done that, would I be where I am in my career today? So I say, if you feel like you're not where you want to be, don't be afraid to take that risk, take that next step, in the direction of what you want to do, because I did that and it paid off for me big time.
And so when we talk about taking risks, a lot of times it takes a lot of faith to do so.
Yes.
So can you tell me who helped you build your faith?
I would say probably my mom. You know, my mom and dad, they're still together, 53 years. Yeah. And then, you know, we grew up in the church, so I knew Christ. And then when I moved to Atlanta, you know, I found me a church home, you know, so I was already grounded. It was already grounded in me, you know. So I think her giving us that, relationship with Christ, teaching us, showing us, and I think that really, really helped me as I was, you know, growing, especially on my own. Now, don't get me wrong, I had some stumbles here and there, but I think having that being grounded in that is what helped me as I grew.
Incredible. Toiya, I want to ask you, what would you tell your younger self? What would your younger self tell your older self now? What kind of motivation would your younger self give your older self now?
If I were younger in this generation,
It's a whole
in
different.
this generation, I probably would say, don't be scared, girl. Go for it. Don't be afraid. Go for it.
Yes.
You know, that is what I would say. Because I think people miss so many opportunities because they're afraid to take risks. And I say, don't be afraid. Go for it, because you never know what's on the other side.
Yes.
You know, you never know. And and don't get me wrong, it may not all be roses. You know, you might fall. I've fallen a couple times, you know, and had to pick myself back up. I've cried in the ball and, you know, to Jesus, Lord, which way do I go? What do I do? But he's always showed me which way to go and what to do and how to get there. So I say, just don't be afraid and trust God in everything. Put God first in everything, and he'll show you. He'll direct your path.
Yes. And so I don't want to ask your age, but
Oh, you can
at
ask.
what period in your life did you finally say, okay, I can do this?
Girl, you wouldn't believe if I told you this. Okay, so to be 100% honest with you, it really came when I got into my 50s.
Yes.
It was
about
the
50s.
it's something about those 50s. Now the 40s, you know, I was getting there, but once I turned 50, I said, I don't care. I'm doing whatever it is
That's
I want to
true.
do. I would walk into rooms. So just to be give you a little input. So I've been trying to pitch shows over the years, you know, and when you walk into the show into a room or you're on a Zoom and there are in the network people, and most of the time they're white and they're men. You know, I used to be so intimidated, you know, so scared. But now when I talk to them, they're like, okay, you're different,
Yes.
because I'm not afraid.
Yes.
You know, I'm not scared like I used to be.
Yes.
There's something about the 50s. I love the 50s.
The 50s.
I love the
It's
50s.
incredible. I don't want to tell my age, but I've been in the 50s for a minute.
Yes.
And they are incredible.
Yes.
It hit me like, you can do this.
You
You've
can
been
do
scared
this.
for so long.
Yes. What are we afraid of?
What are you afraid of?
So if
you
my
know?
older self could tell my younger self something, honey, just get to it. Don't even be afraid. Don't be scared. Just go for it.
But
Yes.
it's so very interesting about how everything in your journey leads you to the place where you're supposed to be.
Yes.
And guides you towards your purpose.
Yes.
And you're in the exact place and the exact moment that you're supposed to be there for the exact reason for God to do whatever he needs to do for you and take you to the next level.
Yes.
And so that's why we're here today, because we want women, we want, especially black women, black men, young girls and boys of all races and colors and creeds to understand that it is doable, and especially it is doable if you have faith in God. So that's
Yes.
so very important. And one more question I have for you, Miss Toiya.
Yes.
When you go to bed at night, what makes you smile?
Knowing that I have my family.
Yes.
It's family for me.
Yes.
You know, everything I do is for my family, for my
Yes.
children,
Yes.
my girls.
Yes.
You know, I try to be a good example for them.
Yes.
You know, and I'm grateful to have a husband
Yes.
who's very supportive.
Yes.
You know, and I'm grateful that we all know the Lord.
Yes.
You know, so I'm grateful to God for every blessing that he's bestowed upon me and the people he's put around me. You know, and for every opportunity he's allowed for me.
Incredible. Well, that leads me to one more question.
Yes.
Yes. If God could do one more thing for you, what would that one thing be?
I would probably say continue to keep my family covered.
Yes.
You know, continue to keep my children covered,
Protection.
protection of my children.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't ask for myself.
Yes.
You know, I ask for my family, you know, even my extended family, my friends, you know, cover the people around me.
And in asking for everyone else, you are
Yes.
covered
Yes.
because you are the Moses of your family.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
So you help lead those. So that's very important. When you ask for everybody else, it's normally you're going to help lead them to the place where they need to be, to their purpose, and you're going to help guide them. And as you continue to pray and cover them, the Lord will be with you and his angels will be with you. I just want to speak something positive to you. I definitely feel like the Lord is going to do a brand new thing for you. I see elevation all around you. And I just wish you nothing but happiness and joy and peace.
Okay, you're trying to make me cry. Is that what this tissue bowl is here? Let me just pull one of these out right now.
Yeah,
Because you're
I
gonna make
do.
me go there.
I wish you all the
Oh,
peace.
Thank you so
And
much.
may the Lord answer your prayers for coming here and doing this for me, because you did not have to. And I'm so grateful that you came.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you.
I had to show up because me and you are going to do great things together. This is just the beginning for us. I believe that
Thank
God
you.
put you in my life for a reason.
Thank you.
And we have that connection, that
Yes.
spiritual connection.
Yes.
And we don't have the project yet, but God will lay it on our hearts and we will get there.
Yes,
You
thank
and I
you.
both together.
Yes.
I believe that.
And if he does nothing else, he's done enough. I'm so glad to meet you in person.
yes.
And thank you. I'll call you my sister.
Yes, you're
And
my
so,
sister as well.
I'm here for you anytime, and I know that you will be here for me anytime.
Thank
and I
you.
love you so much.
I love you
Thank
too.
you so much for joining Unveiling with Dr. Sakonja.
Thank you.
Bless
I
you.
appreciate you.
Bless
Thank you for
you.
having me.
Bless you.